Hi, welcome to my YouTube video. I am Analytical Amos. In today's video, I'll take you through creating this dynamic sales dashboard from beginning to end, and you can use it for your portfolio projects. I've added the data set in the description below so you can download and follow along while we do this together. This tells the sales from Twitch Corporation. We have a total orders, a total revenue, and average revenue, and slice this by salesperson to see how much each salesperson did in that particular month. You can also slice it by order dates to see each day how many orders were made and how much revenue was made. You can also slice it by the shipping city to see which cities orders were much and were less and how each city was doing. This is the data set we'll be using for this dashboard. And these are business questions we'll be answering using this dashboard. So right now, we'll start by creating a new space to start building our dashboard. So I click here, select view, unselect our grid lines, then click this, go to insert, go to fill and select a deep green view. Select from here, give this a light green view. The next thing is to insert our company logo. Go to pictures. I've saved it on this device, so I can just go select it on the folder, insert, drag it down. Next, we insert our text here, type our company name. Increase the font size to 14, make it bold, change the font to the color we want. Can copy this, call this our sales data dashboard, change this color to white. Now we've had our logo, our company name, and the title of our dashboard ready. The next is to start adding our KPIs. We can rename this sheet to a dashboard. What we do next is go to our data set. So you have the order ID, order date. This should be in date. Convert it to short date, ship date in date format. So what I do first is to convert this to tables. And to do that, I hit Ctrl T on my keyboard and it selects the data set for me. You can see from A1 to Z, our data is from A down to Z. And 66 rows. You can see 66 rows. So it selects the whole data set. And my table has headers. So I click on OK. So it converts this to tables for me. And once that is converted, you can slice this table. You can also use pivot tables, which we are going to use in this project. So we can rename our table to sales table. Then the next is to insert our pivot table. Go to insert, click pivot table. This is the table and we are doing it in a new worksheet. So we click OK. Takes us to a new worksheet where we can do our pivots. These are the tasks we'll be generating our reports for. The first one is how many orders have customer placed, which means the total number of orders. So we can see our data set. All our orders have an order ID, which is unique. That's what we are going to count to know how many orders customer placed. Coming to our pivot sheet, let's call this sheet a pivot sheet. So click on the pivot, and what we want to get is a count of orders. So we select orders, it goes to the value. We want the count. We can see the count of our orders is 65, like from our data set. The next thing is how much total revenue have we generated, which is the sum of our revenue. Also add that to here. Select revenue, which is the sum of our revenue. Currency is in dollar. So go to more number formatting, currency, reduce it to 0. Then select US dollar, click OK. Now we've gotten number of orders and our revenue. So how do we bring this to our dashboard? Go to our dashboard, insert shape, choose this, create the shape, change the color, go to the formula bar, type your equal to, go to the pivot sheet, select an empty space, A5. I'll tell you why, because if you select this, it might not see your data because of the way it's going to appear. So let's select A5, enter. When you go to the dashboard, because A5 is empty, nothing is showing here. Come down here, remove A5, put A4, enter. We have brought in our 65, which is on our pivot sheet. So now this is cell A4, and that's why we change this to A4 here. So what we can do now is increase the font size, come here to edit. We call this our total orders. We select this, reduce that selection, enter. Align this to the center, Control C, copy it and paste it. For the rest of our KPIs, select these and align it well. Go to shape format, align, distribute horizontally. We need to add a background just to make it nicer. We can Control V and we can change this color with a black color, then use it as a shadow. Send it backward, send to back. Control C. Do the same for this and this. So select this and send to back. We've had our 3 KPIs ready. So we go to the second KPI, which was our sum of revenue. We can add another KPI, average revenue. But this will be average revenue. Let's reduce. Our revenue is in B4 and our average is in C4. So we can go to our dashboard, change this to B4 and change this to C4. This gives us, since this has changed, make it 28. Make this one to 28. Call these a total revenue. Make the font size up to 10. Click enter. Do the same thing here. So now we have our total orders, our total revenue, and our average revenue. From here, we can start by adding our slicer. We go to our pivot sheet, click on the pivot sheet, then insert our slicer. And we are going to slice it first by salesperson. So we select salesperson, click OK. Our slicer appears here. Test if it works. If we select a salesperson, you can see the values change. Make this our color. Control X, cut it, take it to our dashboard and paste it here. Adjust it to the right place. And we have a slicer. If we test it, ensure it's still working. You can expand it to see all the salesperson. Okay, now we have our slicer and our KPIs. Go back to our task. Then we've achieved these two. We can just bring it out. Next is which salespersons are generating the highest revenue. That's why I had to add this so I could be able to slice and see. But then we need a graph for that, just like it was in our dashboard. So we go to our pivot table. You can copy this and paste here to build our next pivot. For this pivot, we don't need the order ID, so we remove it. We don't need the average. We only need the revenue, and we need to slice this by salesperson. So we bring a salesperson, click on the cell, it automatically goes to row. Now we can see we have revenue by salesperson. We can actually sort this from largest to smallest. For we to put a chart, we need to select any value here, go to insert. Let's use pivot chart. For pivot chart to select our bar chart, we click OK. This is our bar chart, but the things we don't actually need, we can remove it from here. And since it's a bar chart we are using, we need to sort this from smallest to largest. Yeah. So when we sort it from smallest to largest, let me expand this out for our total. We could call this revenue by sales person, revenue by salesperson. We don't need these lines, so we select it, delete. We don't need this salesperson and sum of revenue here. We can right click and hide all fill buttons on chart. It gives us a clear chart. We don't need this here, so we delete it. What we need is to make sure that our columns have good weight. So we can select here, or double click on it. It gives us our formatting. So we can expand the width or decrease the width of our column. So this will decrease it to about, let's leave it at 18%, or let's say 25%. And we change the color to match the color of our charts. This is where we change the color. Go there, select the color and select the color of our chart. Select on the names. Go to our home. Increase it to, let's leave it at 9. Leave it as it is. So now we can click on this total and delete it. We don't need it. What we need to add here is our data label. So click on this addition, select data labels. It gives us the values. Select on the graph, go to format chart area, select it. Then we go to our shadow. We'll put a shadow to it. I like selecting these. You can play with it anyhow you want. And I can go to the fill down in the border. I can put a rounded corner. So this gives us the kind of thing we have in our dashboard. Then select this, Control Exit, and take it to our dashboard. Align it to the top, select it, then adjust it to how we want it. This looks so big, so I can adjust it to, I like putting it at 10 and giving it a little bold. This is our salesperson by revenue. You can see from the highest to the lowest. You can actually see that anyone we select now filters it to the salesperson value we want. Secondly, we go back to our task sheet. We'll be able to achieve revenue by salesperson. From that graph, we can tell which salesperson has the highest revenue, which is Andrew Sisini. How is revenue distributed across different states? How do we know this? By doing revenue by states. So we go to our pivot table. The next thing we need to do is revenue by state. You can copy this, go down here, put it here. Look at the field list we're selecting here. Then we change this salesperson to states because we're looking for revenue by state. Click on our state and deselect our salesperson. You can see the revenue across each state now. For you to get this as a graph, select anything inside, insert our chart. For this, you're going to select this, click OK. It gives us the chart you can actually work on. We hide all fill buttons, delete these lines. For me, I like deleting this. Then I can change my total to revenue by state, make it a 10. Delete this total, format, change the color to green, select our columns and increase the column to 25. You can then give it data labels. So now we have a sum of revenue by state, sort it from largest to lowest. Then add shadow, go to a fill, put in the rounded corners, you can control exit, go to our dashboard, paste it, and adjust it to where we want. But I always advise if your data labels are messing everything up, you can actually delete them and leave the graph to be like that. By then, if someone wants to see the values, they can look at it by hovering around each. But already looking at the graph, anyone would know that New York had the highest sales. So our next KPI would be how is the revenue distributed across different states, which is what we just did. So we have to grind this out. Number 6 is which cities contribute the most to total revenue. You need to know by having a graph which shows revenue by city. So for that, we go back to our pivot sheet. We can copy these, Control C, and paste it here. Close this. We change from states to city. our cities in our rows. With this, we can sort it from smallest to largest because we want to use bar charts. Insert pivot bar chart, which is this. Click on OK. Then we do the necessary formatting we have to do. When we are done with this, we Control Exit, like always, and take it to our dashboard. Paste it here. Change this to 10, bolden it. So now we've gone far. We've had our total orders, our total revenue, average revenue, revenue by salesperson, revenue by state, revenue by city. We could tell from this dashboard right now that Andrew Cicini got the highest revenue as a salesperson. New York got the highest revenue by state. Our revenue by city, highest from New York. So the next question we are going to answer would be, we've answered this by city. Which product categories are driving the most revenue? Why we are doing this is because most times in businesses, your managers might not be so technical to say, give me revenue by category. They'll ask you the normal business questions. Which products categories are we selling most? That's why we are asking business questions and explaining how the data analyst can represent these to make the business owners understand what they need. We go back to our pivot sheet. Now we're looking at categories, so we copy this and paste it, go to our pivot, analyze, select our field sheet. So the question is, which product categories are driving most revenue? We go back to our pivot sheet. We're looking at product category. This is category, product name. We have the product category. So we select the product category, remove the city, and our product category is shown here. Sort these from smallest to largest too, because we need to use our pivot chart, which is a bar chart. Select these, do the necessary cleanups we do. So when we are done with this, we can actually select it, cut it, go to our dashboard, close here, we paste it down here. Okay, I think this works well for us. The next thing we're going to do is our revenue by payment type. So we go to our tax sheet. We've gotten this one. So our number 8, which payment method generates highest revenue? So this is when we need to understand which payment type users use most. This can help the product team to know which payment types they are optimizing for better usage. So we go to our pivot sheet, copy this as normal. Now we are looking for payment type. So we go to our pivot, analyze payment type. So we can see we have 3 payment types here: cash, check, and credit card. We can see users use credit card more for their purchase. So represent this in a graph. You could just go to insert, pivot chart, and we use a pie chart for this. If it's more than 5 up to 6, 7 and above, I don't advise a pie chart because it wouldn't represent what you are displaying better. Click OK. We hide all these fields. Now we have our legend here. I like moving this to my top left. Select from here to say revenue by payment type. We do a normal formatting, give it rounded corners, give it a shadow. Can come down here, select the color, and give it this. Because there are 3, it's easy to differentiate. Then we can actually add our labels. And our labels, we want to add it as percentage. So we go to more options. It takes us down to value. We change it to percentage. We have a percentage. Go back to home, increase it a bit, make it bold, increase it to 10. Then we actually need to select that label to be outside, like putting it outside the end. Cut this, take it to my dashboard and paste it here. Align it properly to fit. So now we've gotten our revenue by payment type. If we close this, You see that our dashboard is taking shape gradually. The next thing we are going to check is our tax. And we've achieved this by payment type. So we look at which payment methods the customers use frequently. So now we'll be able to see the revenue by payment type. So for here, if you go to our pivot sheet, we select this, copy this, and we paste. What we are looking for is which payment methods customers use more frequently. Sometimes customers can use one payment point, but they don't generate a higher revenue. So but for here, we need to know how frequently do they use it. By that, we count the number of orders for each payment method. We go to our pivot sheet, select payment type, deselect revenue, count the number of orders, change here to count. Okay, you can still see that credit card had been used 29 times, check has been used 28 times, and cash used 8 times. You can insert this pivot chart. Let's still use a pie chart and hide all fields. Move this to the top here. Change the color in here. So our normal chart colors. Call this total orders by payment type. Then we could do our basic formatting. Give it the shadow. Give it the rounded corners. Make this a 10 so it's unique to the rest. Combine this and give it the data labels. Cut it, take it to our dashboard and paste it here. To avoid confusion, we can give it just by percentage. Anybody would understand. So this one is revenue by payment type. This one is total orders by payment type. That's what I was trying to explain. 45% of our orders were done using credit card, but we had 53% revenue come from that. For 3% of our orders were paid using check, but in revenue is 40%. So that's the explanation I was trying to give, that the frequency and the volume might be different. So our next is how many orders are fulfilled by each shipping company or ship name. So we need to know which shipping companies fulfill our orders. So we have to count our orders by ship name. So what we do, we go back to our pivot sheet, select it, paste it. Why I do this select and paste is so that our slicer can still slice all of them at once. Else we need to go back and set it to get each chart every time. Go back to our pivot table, come here, looking for the count of orders by ship name. So we come here, this account of orders already there. We'll split it by shipper name. Shipping company A did 14, shipping company B did 27, and shipping company C did 24. You can represent this using a bar chart. Okay. Now bar chart. Don't need these lines. Don't need this. Can increase this to 40. 40 is fine by me. Increase this to 11. Change this, remove this total. Change this color to my normal green color. Change this to orders by shipping company. Leave it bold. Cut it and take it to our dashboard. Add our data labels. Then we can go back to our pivot sheet, sort our value from smallest to largest. So on our dashboard, it inverts it for us. So now we have orders by shipping company. From there, we've answered the question, how many orders are fulfilled by each shipping company? So we can tell here, shipping company B 27, C 24, shipping company A 14. We don't need this again. Yep. So this is fine and answers the question. And actually align it with this on top. Okay, that works. So we've answered this question now. Next question is, which shipping company or ship names generate the highest revenue? What we need to do is a revenue by a shipping company. So we can select this, paste it, and we see pivot chart. You can still use the same bar chart. Click on OK. Do our necessary edits. So we change here to revenue, not count of orders again. Click revenue. Then we can see our revenue by shipping company, which is normal currency, US dollar. Don't need this. So we can see revenue by shipping company. Select this, cut it, take it to our dashboard, paste it here, adjust it to fit where we want it to be. And by there we have our revenue by shipping company. This is still big. Make it look like the others. Yeah. So our dashboard is almost done. You can see I'm using just one color. You can decide to use different colors. I can decide to change this color to any color I want, maybe a lighter green, a deeper green, a blue, depending on how many colors. But best advice, don't use more than 3 colors for your dashboard. Darken this one a bit. Okay, it gives us a pleasing dashboard to look at. The next thing we're going to look at, which is a final task, is how much revenue is coming from each region. This might be for different managers in each region to understand how their region are doing in sales. So we go to our pivot table, copy these and paste it here. Then we're looking for revenue by region. We have a sum of revenue here. So we just deselect shipper name, put in region. Gives us east, north, south, and west. You can see it's already arranged it, sorted for us from highest to lowest. From here, we can insert our pivot. Can use a donut chart for this. Click on OK. Our donut looks tiny, so we can decrease the whole size. You can hide these, hide all fields. Change this to revenue by region. Bold it. Give it a font size of 10. Move this upper a bit. Do a normal edit. So I can actually give it different colors that still match our dashboard. But this might be a bit confusing. So let's tweak it a bit and add 2 extra colors to it here and select this. So we don't have to confuse it with the color grading, especially in the legend. You can add a letter label. Go to our letter labels, more option, and give it in percentage. Change the color to white, make it stand out a bit. Cut this, take it to our dashboard, paste it, can close this, bring it close, change the direction of this legend. Click on this legend and make it to be on top. Reduce it to 8. Come to there. Makes it work better for us. The purpose is for your users to be able to understand graphs quickly. We are here in our dashboard. You can reduce and see what we've done. We've actually been able to get all the KPIs we wanted. So the next thing we are going to do, like it was shown in our dashboard, is to include the slicer for the ship name and the date format. So for date format slicer, which is a timeline, we go back to our pivot sheet, select on any of them, go to insert timeline. So this timeline, we are using the order dates timeline, click on OK. It brings out the timeline and we can change this. Since our data only contains 1 month, we change it to days. We want to see it daily and we shift it to much of it are in December. We can change the formatting and the color of this to green, reduce it so you can fit what to use it for, cut it, go to our dashboard and paste it. align it properly to where we want it to be. Align this one to, once we do this alignment, what is going to happen now is it's going to work only for the pivot sheet you selected it, which is this. It's going to work only for that, not for all of them. Declare it, select the timeline, go to timeline here, and go to report connections. The same thing can be done for slicers. We go to report connections. Let me expand this for us to see. We can see that this timeline is only working on one of the pivot sheets. So we select it for all the pivot sheets, click OK. With that selected now, if we choose one date, you can see it work for different orders. Yep, clear it. That's for the order date. So the next slicer we have to add is the ship city, where the products are being shipped to. So we use that to understand which city have the highest shipping. So to do that, you go to the pivot sheet, click on any of the pivots, insert slicer, we select the ship city, click OK. The ship cities appear. Change this to a color. So we select this, we cut it, take it to our dashboard and paste it here. We paste it, it's not going to, as usual, it's not going to filter everything. If you select it, it doesn't select for everybody. It selects only the pivot that was selected. You go to slicer settings, go to report connections, let's expand it so we can see. Then we select the whole, click OK. And once you select it now, it selects the whole dashboard. That's how we'll be able to create this dashboard from beginning to end. The next thing we're going to do, which is the final, is to add our icons. So I downloaded some icons. It's just for me to go to insert pictures. This device is my revenue icon. Insert it, bring it down here. Also, I can insert to the rest. This is the dashboard we've created. You can sample this on your portfolio, test the slicers and see that it's working properly. For the dates too, you can check the timelines and see that they're working properly. You can also select the city to see how each city did. So thank you very much for staying with me. Use this for your project and your portfolio, and don't fail to subscribe and like for more videos like this. See you.